Okay, I'll admit it. Us Americans have said some pretty dumb things on the internet and also in person. So I want you guys to do me a favor and let me know in the comments down below what the dumbest thing one of us Americans has said to you guys, because I had a ton of people in the comment section give me their own experiences with us Americans saying some off the wall stuff. And here's some of my favorite ones. As an Indonesian whose country definitely has its share of morons, I cannot choose what the dumbest thing Americans have said to me online. They have told me that America is the only country with cultural diversity. They have told me that every US state is as internationally significant as any sovereign states. They have told me that the US military trains literally every single soldier in other countries' armed forces. They have complained about other countries not buying US products while also bragging about how the US can be economically independent from other countries. They have told me that the poorest US states have higher quality of life than most European countries. They have told me that the global dominance of US showbiz is an evidence that US measurement system is better than metric. They actually believe that the uglier their behaviors are, the more charming they are. They insist that other countries have severe gun problems just like the US does, just to name a few. Edit, I definitely interacted with actual intelligent Americans, but let's face it, the ugly ones really stick out like sore thumbs. And this unfortunately seems to be the case in a lot of what we've been seeing across the internet. I'm like, oh my gosh, the more people have access to phones and other devices that are able to make posts on social media platforms, the more we get to see how interesting the world truly is. And us Americans continuously expose ourselves on a day-to-day basis. I've done it myself. I am not innocent of this. An American bought some coffee on board our train. A few minutes after buying the coffee, she came back and complained the coffee was cold. I had to point out that she had poured cold milk in the coffee, and that's why it was cold. Of course, people from Europe have done similar stuff, but she became indignant when I pointed it out instead of laughing about it. See, I think that's a universal commonality between most of us Americans. We do not like being called out, even if it is a honest correction in a lot of cases. I used to be like this a long time ago because I didn't want to be embarrassed and whatnot, but I would much rather someone correct me than have me looking crazy. The craziest thing I've heard is secondhand, but I have no reason to doubt it. A couple of summers ago, my American nieces came to visit us in Norway, both in their late teens. They naturally wanted to stay healthy, so they asked my mother, with whom they were staying, where it would be safe to go jogging. My mother was a little confused, but admitted that the road went just by the house. Just have at it, but be careful about traffic. It only came up later that my nieces hadn't really been asking about the traffic, but about personal security as women. But the answer would still have been the same. Oddly enough, I do feel like that was kind of a valid question. As Americans, the United States is not safe virtually at all. In some places it's safer than others for sure, but there are varying levels of danger. So of course, when you're roaming around at nighttime, especially as a woman, it can be very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. So I'm pretty sure they were just trying to make sure that they didn't get snatched up and thrown in a van somewhere and taken to oblivion. I feel like that one for sure, there could be some misunderstandings around that. Because it's like, but for the people living in Norway, they're like, well, dude, there's nothing that happens out here. What are you talking about? There's nothing you got to worry about. If you guys have your own personal stories, let me know in the comments down below, but we're going to be diving into a slew of very delusional posts from my fellow Americans. And these are just some things that are funny to laugh at and whatnot, to kind of take the edge off. We've had a pretty interesting week this week, so let's finish it off with a bang. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. Please, please, please help us hit 1 million subscribers by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already. I just found out British people call dish soap washing up liquid. Brits are not serious people. And the comment underneath that says, just heard Americans regularly shoot up schools but still won't ban guns. Yanks are not serious people. Yikes, what a diabolical clapback. And you can imagine the comment section was going ballistic with this. Okay, sidewalk guy. Not gonna lie, that one went right over my head. I don't know what that means. If somebody can elaborate, let me know. Just found out Americans called Trump a president. Americans are not serious people. Oh, damn. Yeah, that one, I have no words for that one. My hands are tied. I have just found out that Yanks call washing up liquid dish soap. What a bunch of cretins. We have now entered the space of tomato versus tomato. And of course, we have not come to an agreement at all on what to call dishwashing soap or liquid washing liquid washing. Americans also call a game that is primarily played with their hands football. You know, it's funny, when I learned about football as a kid and when I got, yelled at by my European classmate that was an exchange student from Germany, I'm like, you know what? Why don't we call American football football, handball, and soccer, football. I mean, soccer is football, right? But in the United States, we call it soccer and we call American football. But I'm like, dude, we don't. The only person that touches the football with their feet is the kicker. And that's it. There's one kicker per team. And that's literally it. So what about just calling it handball, American handball? I mean, that makes more sense, right? That makes way more sense, but I don't know. That makes too much sense, apparently. Don't they have to clarify which part of the horse to sit on? Horseback riding and eyeglasses? I don't think they have a leg to stand on here. You see, the more you bring stuff up like that, I'm starting to see that we definitely can't call anybody out. God dang. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that. What about thumb drive? What do you guys call flash drives? Herbs instead of herbs is the verbal equivalent of nails on a blackboard. In that comment alone, I knew exactly what they were talking about, but we do call it chalkboard in the United States. Because you take the chalk to write on the board. I think we're infinitely cooked with this post in the comment section because the comments keep calling out things I've never even like considered thinking about. And this is kind of wicked. Dang. Are there other things you guys have noticed with the American English language that we may have said or concocted that can basically be used against us in this context? Until they actually take the whole kids getting murdered in school thing seriously, not a single American can ever say anything negative about another country. I mean, what comeback could they possibly have to them doing the square foot of sweet fuck all about kids getting murdered in school? Well, what can I say? I can't really say anything because that comment definitely ate. The square root of fuck all. That's wild. Cool. World Series. See, I always wondered about that. And you've heard me mention this in many, many, many videos on this channel. But World Series for sports that are exclusive to the United States or teams and events that are exclusive to the United States. I'm like, Now, baseball does exist outside of the United States for sure. But the World Series? Not everybody in the world takes part in this, by the way. It's typically just national teams. This one is just mean-spirited. I get it. As an American, I know many uncultured, isolationist Americans. I also know our nation is very split on gun control and many people wish for more. However, the crux of the gun issue is the firearm lobby and basically political greed and corporate strong-arming. But go ahead and keep bringing up child murder as a response to someone calling people not serious. We meet again. We meet again. I knew that was going to happen. I knew somebody in the comment section was going to, well, how can you equate this to that and blah, blah, blah. Stereotypes. They exist for a reason. Okay. They're not great. Some of them are not great. Some of them are better than others for sure. Doesn't mean that you have to take it on the chin. You can definitely retaliate and say some crazy stuff back, but doesn't change the fact that a stereotype is a stereotype for a reason. And yeah, that has been a thing for a long time. Listen, if we hadn't had a slew of them, definitely towards the end of last year, very recently, this wouldn't even really be a point of discussion. But it's so common that most of us Americans are desensitized to it. And I get hey, you guys can't, every time we bring up something, you guys always bring up school shootings. I'm like, it's because it's a thing. This is the greatest country on earth. We invented everything, including the wheel. America stole fire from the gods themselves. A few moments later, I'm half Irish, half Scottish, 2/3 German, and 110% Polish. If my grandfather was Neil Armstrong, that wouldn't make me a fucking astronaut. I'm glad somebody else said it because good Lord, I've been saying this since I was a child. I remember like in 5th grade, I was 10 years old and all of a sudden, mind you, this was 2005. I'm old as hell, I know. But back in 2005, it felt like it spawned out of nowhere. People were like, I'm 115% gargantuan. I'm 325% Polish. And I'm like, bro, okay, like, why do we care? I was asking all the time, why do we give a fuck? We don't care about that. I don't give a fuck if you're like 0.3% Native American. Does that have an impact on your personality for some reason? Is this now going to be a part of your personality for the rest of your life? Like, what's the point in telling me this? Because it doesn't make any sense. There were plenty of people. I think what it was an identity crisis. And I know it wasn't just the 5th graders that were doing it. I mean, everybody was doing it. I'm not sure if this is where the little MyHeritage website thing probably started and then everybody like ran with it. But I do know that something happened. Maybe I just happened to notice people doing this more, but at least for me in 2005, I noticed what almost seemed to be a trend of people identifying as all these different like races and stuff. Oh, I'm like 0.3% Scottish or something. And I'm like, okay, who cares? Something had to have been invented around that time frame for people to be that viciously obsessed, because people still are to this day. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of people calling America the dumbest country in the world. Quite frankly, I think Europe is. And then the comment underneath that says, Europe isn't a country. You validated your own question. Checkmate. Good Lord. It's like the jokes write themselves, right? I think Europe is. Holy patriotism. Holy lack of brain cells. Good God. The person typed that out and didn't check what they wrote before they hit submit. That happens a lot. I feel like that happens more than ever these days. People hop on the internet, they type blindly, they hit submit, and then boom. I've done it. I've done it a lot. I've done it a lot, honestly. But that's crazy. Especially when you're making a point about America not being the dumbest country in the world, and then you contradict yourself in the same statement. That's crazy. I love this sub because as a US citizen, I see the stupidity firsthand and sometimes become numb to it. So this place is a nice reminder that the world sees us for who we are, collectively at least. But goddamn, the bar is on the floor and we still can't manage it. What can I tell you? I'm glad the rest of the world doesn't have their blinders on, because again, this user is absolutely right. Being in the United States and hearing all kinds of wicked, dumb shit all the time, day to day, like clockwork, you get numb to it. You know, you get numb to it. You're like, all right, cool, whatever. Just another day another day in the neighborhood. But then when other people hear the things that leave our mouths, and they're like, did you hear what you just said? You fucking idiot. Do they have any self-awareness? You validated your own question. That's what I'm saying. This user posted something that was supposed to be like a gotcha moment, and they got themselves. And I'm like, bro, please. Reading is fundamental. Read what you wrote and then make some modifications if you need to, and then hit submit, okay? His argument was going so well till he started typing. My thoughts exactly. People would stop calling America the dumbest country in the world if America stopped talking. Well, do you guys agree with this take? Let me know in the comments down below, because, man, maybe there's some truth to this. America is the colloquial term for the United States of America in the same way Mexico is the colloquial term for the United Mexican States. Yes, but when we say America, most people think of the United States, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, maybe not. That's just some dumb shit that I thought of just now. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Typically, when I say Americans and stuff like that, I'm referring to the United States of America, which is probably why you guys came up with the term USAENs. The top of this post says, what do you think of London lawyers? And the response from a user says, there's a work ethic and expectation hierarchy with New York at the top, some other major US cities below that, then Asia, then the rest of the US below that, and then there's some phytoplankton, and then below those are lawyers from Europe. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. And then it had 22 downvotes. Oh my God. Yeah, this user's obviously fried in the head, because this was asking about what they think about London lawyers and why the freak are you bringing the United States into any of this? I feel like this is a good old-fashioned case of US defaultism, but I could be wrong. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. The US work ethic. Work harder, not smarter. Slogging away at it and putting in all the hours God sends does not equal increased productivity. Quite often, it has the opposite effect. Work-life balance is important for very good reasons. And I can rant about this all day, but one big thing that I've noticed with the American work culture is that the system is designed for people to work themselves to the bone. Now, we do have jobs that provide a ton of money, right? Tons of money that people can use to do whatever with it. But there's no use if you are constantly on the hamster wheel, burning yourself and filing yourself down. There is this mentality that if you're not constantly working and doing something, then you're absolutely lazy and a waste of space, and you're perceived as not being a productive member of society, which is incredibly toxic, especially when you want to spend time with friends and family and actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. In the United States, unfortunately, that is not encouraged. It's not encouraged to take time off. It's not encouraged to take time to yourself to actually enjoy what you've built for yourself. And I think that's one of the defining factors in general that separates the United States from the entire continent of Europe and a lot of other places as well. Not the entire world, but to a degree, at least the continent of Europe. Interesting that they put Asia above a part of the US. On occasion, we tend to humble ourselves. On occasion, not often, but on occasion. I wonder who taught them rules of law. Honestly, I don't have that answer, big dog, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you guys think of this? What is the craziest experience you've had from one of us Americans that you've witnessed, the dumbest things we have ever said to you guys?